What's going on, guys? Welcome back to this video. Today's video will be on TryHackMe, and we're going to carry on with the Red Team track. Now, this room, we have finished the first 5 tasks. We've talked about reconnaissance, active and passive reconnaissance, and today we're going to talk about Recon-ng. And in the next upcoming video, we're going to talk about multi-call. These two are the most popular reconnaissance frameworks that you can use to gather information about specific target during a specific engagement. So on the left here, or on the right, we have the Recon-ng running, up and running. So basically you can start Recon. Let's start from scratch. So you can start Recon-ng, and this will put us in the default workspace. So basically Recon-ng requires you to create a workspace. The reasoning behind the need for creating a workspace is that we need to store all of the reconnaissance results, the information we collected, in the database. Now, for every workspace there is a database that gets created, under which you will have tables. The tables will store the collected information about the domain or the target. For example, we start first by creating a workspace. So workspace, and let's create the workspace required by the task. So if you scroll down, as you can see here, there is a workspace we need to create called Clinic Red Team. Let's do that. So workspaces create Clinic Red Team. After we do that, as you can see, guys, the prompt changed to indicate that the workspace has been loaded. Now, before we proceed further, under the workspace there is the database, as we said earlier, that holds, or that will hold, the information we collect about the target. As you can see, we haven't yet started the reconnaissance. We are just doing the necessary configurations and setups. So it's necessary to find out what are the tables stored under this database. So we issue the command db schema to list the database, or list the tables under the database. As you can see, we have a table for the domains. The domains table will store the information about the domain that we're going to gather information about. As you can see, the domain holds the domain name and notes, and whatever module we're going to apply on the domain later, it's gonna get stored here. We have the companies. This might be the company you are performing the reconnaissance on. Network blocks, locations, vulnerabilities. As you can see, we have the host. We can insert host here and perform vulnerability scan. Okay, so what we can do here, we can load the table and insert, say, a host inside this table. And after that, we can perform the reconnaissance. Ports. So as you can see, guys, every table, there is different category of information that we can supply to Recon to perform different sorts of tasks. So we can perform vulnerability scan, port scan, reconnaissance, brute force. We can look for leaks here, push pins and profiles, repositories. As you can see, guys, the gist here is to understand that the tables here will store the information that we gather or that we want to gather. So you might be starting with a domain name. So you're going to insert a domain name in the table's domain. So how to insert a domain name? We can say insert. Okay, and here the table name is domains. It is with S, I guess, right? Okay. So insert domains, and let me call it from the notes here. Let's see. So insert, db insert domains. So I have to put db here, insert domains. This means that I want to insert entries in the table named domains. If you want to insert entries in another table, you just have to change the table name from domains, say, to repositories. So if we do that, this will bring us the columns that will store the values. So as you can see, we have the column domain. Here we put the domain name. Let's go back to the task and see if there is something required. How many modules? There is a single module under host domains. Okay, let's do an experiment on my domain name. Okay, and here I can say personal testing. These are notes that you can use for reference. And now if we visit the tables again, db search db schema, okay, we have inserted the domain name in question. Now it's time to start the reconnaissance. Before starting the reconnaissance, we have to understand modules. So modules are kind of tools available in the marketplace of the Recon-ng that you can install and load to perform the task in hand. If you want to work with the modules, say I want to search for a specific module in hand using keyword, I can use a command marketplace search keyword. So if we search for an available module using a keyword. Okay, for example, marketplace search, let's say DNS. This will search all the available modules that contain the keyword DNS. So we have two modules. The first one is, as you can see, view DNS reverse whois, and the other one. And as you can see here, we have the status of the module. So is uninstalled indicates, of course, that it is installed. And we have D and we have K. So K indicates whether the module requires an API key. D, dependencies. If you see an asterisk here, it means that the module requires a key or dependency. So the asterisk here is placed under the key. It means that this module requires a key. Okay, we can insert keys, we can remove keys. I'm going to show you guys later. But the thing is to understand what does the asterisk mean here. So this one requires key. We don't have key right now, so we're going to proceed with this one. So we saw a module that we like. What we're going to do, we're going to need next to install the module. So marketplace. Let me remember the command. You cannot remember all the command. That's why it's efficient to have a set of notes, guys. You can get access to these notes if you are subscribed to the channel membership. So marketplace install module. So marketplace and the module name. So we take this, the module name, and we just do it. Now I'm not gonna do that because it's already installed. Once you press enter, it's gonna get installed. Now say you have installed many modules. Okay, you want to list all of the modules that you have installed. We can use modules search. So modules will show you guys all the modules that you have installed, because you cannot keep track of all the modules you have installed. You can use modules search to get back and refresh your memory and see what you have. So I have two modules. One is Google Site Web and one is View DNS Reverse Whois. Okay, so I will install the module. I want to get more information about the module. Actually, getting more information about the module is a step that comes before installing the module. So we can do that using this command, marketplace info module. So marketplace info and the module name. Assumingly, this will give us a description about how the module works. So this is the path, the name, the author, and the description. Harvests domain names belonging to a company by using the View DNS info free reverse whois tool. So it gives you guys the source if you want to go yourself and try this manually. What if you want to remove a module? You can do that using modules. Let me remember that. I think remove modules. Yeah, no, marketplace. It's marketplace to remove module. So again, we're going to use marketplace remove. Say I want to remove this one. I'll just take this, the name of it, and this will remove it from the list of installed modules. Let's go back, modules, search, and as you can see now we have one module that is uninstalled. So now we know how to use the marketplace command to install, search, and remove modules. Now it's time to find out how we can load the module. I want to use this module against the domain name. So we say modules load and the name of the module. This will load up the module for use. Okay, say you want to go back, you load a module by mistake, you can use Control-C. This will go back one step, or you can use back keyword, just as in Metasploit. So now let's load the module again, and now it's time to find out what is required to run this module efficiently. So, similar in Metasploit, we can use options list. We list the options here, as you can see, and we have one required option, name source. The current value is default. We can use info. So here, list. All right. So you can use info here. As you can see, it gives us more info about this default option. The default is select distinct company from companies where company is not null. So we have to fill out, as you can see, guys, a company name in the companies table. So make sure to understand and find out what is required. So we do that again using options list. Don't know why it's hard to find it. Okay, here, options list, and we see what's required. Now to take a look at the default value, we use the info just as suggested here, and we can see here that it requires a company from the companies. Now the description says harvests domain names belonging to a company by using view DNS info free reverse host tool. So let's now db schema, okay, and go to companies. So that's what we need. So we're going to need to db insert company, or db insert companies. Now it requires the company name. I'm going to type my the name of the website. Hopefully it will give a hint, give the tool a hint how to find it. And the description is personal listing notes blank. You can leave blank. And now we go back, options list info. Fine. String representing a single input. These are other options. Okay, so now we have typed a company name in the company table. It's time now to set this as we like. Now the default value here will take the value we have inserted from the table company, so no need to modify it anymore. So we just type run. As you can see, nothing were harvested. So this is the company name I entered. Maybe I didn't find anything about my website name. So now let's go back one step using Control-C, marketplace search, say Google. Now we're going to use this one and install it back. So marketplace install. Okay, now modules, load the module we just have installed, and now modules, marketplace. Let me remember, I think it's marketplace info. Yeah, sometimes you mix between the marketplace command and the modules command. It's fine. So marketplace info and the module name. Let's see what it does. Marketplace info, invalid command. Marketplace info module. Let's type info here. Okay, so we type info here and harvests hosts from google.com by using the site search operator. So here it relies on Google Docs to find the hosts related to a specific domain. And if you take a look at the options, the default value is taken from the domains table. So we already have a value in the domains table, which is my website. Now I think we can run this easily. Searching Google, Google CAPTCHA triggered, no bypass available. So here, because Google requires CAPTCHA. Let's go back one step and say marketplace search port. Maybe this will give us port scan modules. As you can see, we have nmap here. This will perform nmap against a target. And most of these require API key, as you can see here. Dependencies and API keys. Let's see nmap. So nmap marketplace install and the module name, and let's load the module and see the required options. Modules, load nmap, info. Okay, so imports hosts and ports into the respective databases from nmap XML output. File name, I have to supply a file name here, and there is no current value. So I think here it does, you have to run, I thought it runs nmap, but what you have to do here, you have to run nmap on your own and then import them from an output file to be able then to perform other reconnaissance on them. These require API keys. Mass scan. These are imports. So as you can see, these are imports. It's not reconnaissance. And these require, as you can see, API keys. Now let's see how we can add an API key. Now usually API key can be acquired from the respective service. So if you want API key from Shodan, okay, you have to register at Shodan and acquire the API key. So let's say you have the API key. We can add API key using these commands. So first we use keys list to list the available API keys. We don't have available API keys. If you want to import an API key, you just use keys, add the key name and the key value. Now normally the key name and the key value are actually taken when you first register in Shodan or the respective service. They give you API name and API key, and you just register them here by saying keys add, say Shodan, and here goes the key. This will add the key, and then you can use the respective module. You see the questions here. How do you start Recon-ng with the workspace clinic red team? So Recon-ng -w clinic red team. What this will do, instead of just using the workspace command as we did earlier, yeah, it doesn't go up anymore. So it just starts your workspace right with Recon-ng. How many modules with the name VirusTotal exists? So we have to go back and say marketplace search VirusTotal. See all the available modules related to VirusTotal. So we have 2. There is a single module under hosts domain. What is its name? So we search with this keyword. And we have one module. It is migrate hosts. Census email address is a module that retrieves email addresses from the TLS certificates for a company. Who is the author? So again, we bring up the module using search. Oh, why it's doing that? Okay, marketplace search. So we have one, and the author details are not clear from here, so we have to retrieve it using the info command. So the info command here will give us info about the module, so marketplace info and the name of the module. Now we might not be running active reconnaissance now, guys, but the steps and the configurations we are just going over now are very necessary to establish your knowledge on how to use Recon. If you understand what we are just doing in this video, you're going to be able to conduct a reconnaissance very easily. So paste, and let's see here. So the path, the name, and this is the author. Okay, as you can see, the description says retrieves email addresses from the TLS certificates for a company, updates the contacts table with the results. So the email addresses are stored in the contact. It tells you guys where it will store the results. This is very important because, as you know, the tables will store all the collected information. Okay. So that was a basic video or basic intro on how to use Recon-ng. Now, if you can take what you learned from this video and actively start Reconnaissance, because now you know how to create workspaces, how to insert values in the tables that you will use for the reconnaissance, how to load, unload, and install the modules, and how to find out which module requires API key and how to add the respective API keys. The rest is just go ahead and start the reconnaissance on whatever target you have in your mind. So that was it, guys. I hope you like that, and I will see you in the next video.